Okay, excellent. That what we're seeing with what the systems are currently being used, we are seeing a lot of people using ServiceNow, and we're seeing a lot of people that are looking to either switch over to something like ServiceNow, Jira, or maybe another third party that doesn't apply to them. So that being said, I'm going to start off the presentation here. We'll have some slides, and then we'll actually take a look at the integrations and see how that goes.
Let's take a look at NetMRI's ITSM adapters. When we utilize Infoblox's open concepts, we make NetMRI part of our existing ecosystem. We can get the most out of our investment and spend time on performing higher value activities. The vast majority of modules within ServiceNow and other ITSM systems all link back to the CMDB. This allows for an in-depth understanding and auditability of the device through its entire lifecycle. Many CMDBs we initially encounter are at best incomplete and stale. This leads to low confidence in the solution and prevents it from addressing the problem it was initially designed to address. Low confidence results in less adoption, all but ensuring its failure. Specialized employees spend a large amount of cycles working to reconcile and normalize CMDB data to ensure its accuracy and usefulness. Separate teams provide flat file data to further burden specialized employees with more manual effort. As a result, related ITSM workflows and policies suffer. Enter the NetMRI to ServiceNow CMDB adapter. This pre-designed solution automates the synchronization from NetMRI as the source of truth for the network to the CMDB as the source of record while supporting customer-specific data fields and business rules. It's a lightweight left-hand, right-hand adapter that can be hosted on Windows or Linux. The host does not need to be dedicated. It's common for clients to utilize an existing mid-server when deploying the solution. All communication channels are outbound and secured using standard encryptions. Many of you have heard the saying, garbage in, garbage out. This statement is more relevant when referring to a CMDB. The data hosted in your CMDB will be in turn used to create more data. It's key to ensure that that data is accurate and timely. With our solution, implementations can be done on a brand new database, or it can utilize identification and coalesce rules to update and enrich existing implementations. We offer basic CMDB implementations, as well as custom field and custom data support. So with our solution, it's going to automatically synchronize that data between NetMRI and your CMDB. You're going to have precise control over which devices make it over. We support all class types that are supported by NetMRI. And of course, we ensure the data that's being sent over meets correct assurance rates and has been recently contacted by NetMRI, so we don't send over any stale devices. Let's hop over to ServiceNow and take a look at some of the records created by our solution. Okay, so here we are in our lab version of NetMRI. I'm going to pick on a specific device just so we can see how the information makes it over into the CMDB. So I'm picking on Lab 3550, and let's take a look at some of its details here. Okay, OS version, model, uptime, SNMP status, MAC addresses, just absolutely everything about the device is stored within NetMRI, keeping in mind that we only want to get relevant information over into our CMDB. Look, besides the device properties itself, we also pick up the interface information. So it's a switch. We have a lot of switch ports here, so we'd like to see this also represented in ServiceNow. That way, when we're making changes or we have specific incidents, we're able to target that CI directly if that's the workflow that we're going for. Keep in mind that all of this is configuration options. So if I didn't want to send the interface information, I don't have to. I also have the capability of filtering out which type of interfaces I want to send over. So I don't need to send over prop virtual, other types of interfaces. Let's go check out ServiceNow and see what this device looks like. Lab 3550 looks like in ServiceNow. So here we are in a lab version of ServiceNow. We're going to jump over to the network gear. And once again, we're going to try to zoom in on that specific lab switch. But you can see we've already synchronized a lot of our lab devices over here. And you can tell our devices from the sample ones because our devices have all the data included. Click on Lab 3550. There it is. Just click in. Okay. So of course we have the name, the asset tag. That is a custom data field that is housed within our NetMRI itself that we are synchronizing over. Serial number, model ID, who the device is assigned to. Adam Fox, he's a busy guy.
Of course, the device type, its location, IP address, firmware version, and a full description taken directly out of NetMRI itself. And then if we scroll down, we'll actually see the switch ports and the network adapters that we've decided to sync over as well. So once again, if I want to make a specific change to an interface or a switch port, I do have the option of specifying that as a CI in an incident or in a change request. That being said, once again, this is optional. You do not need to synchronize adapter information over. It's not incredibly common with our current customer base, but we do have people that have a very strong use case for it. The outcomes that we have seen from this solution so far are excellent. As discussed prior, it's common to have a limited amount of ServiceNow specialized resources available in any enterprise environment. Having them switch over from
And I believe now we're going to hear from Kevin
All
and
right,
Chris.
yeah, so I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen. I actually have a small demo for you guys today, kind of show a lot of what you already saw and how these integrations work with ServiceNow. I want to kind of set the playing level or set the level here on the playing field. Um, what I'm going to be showing today are two different types of integrations, and when I say by types, I understand that there's a lot more integrations, including the one that you just saw just a second ago. The two I'm going to be showing is from the Infoblox NIOS and Blocks One threat defense systems themselves. And how it works is we got two types. What I mean by type is that there's an integration where we can push our backend database data from Infoblox into ServiceNow. And then on the flip side, and that includes like leases, host records, networks, security events. We can push all that, and just like how we saw earlier, put it into different database tables within ServiceNow, IT tickets, stuff like that. On the flip side, we can do the exact same thing from ServiceNow to Infoblox as well. And that's the second type of integration I'm going to be talking about today is pushing all that database data that you get into ServiceNow. And that could also come from the NetMRI, what he was just showing. You can push that to ServiceNow first and then back down to Infoblox Now machine. Why not? The point is that we have these two different types of integrations for the Now Blocks One Threat Defense. I'm going to show you both of them, demo them for you, kind of give you a idea of what you can be expecting and how to kind of set it up. I'm going to go a little bit faster so we can keep within time, but keep with me. I'm going to show you the demo environment. I'm going to demo it for you, and then at the end, if we have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. So with that said, let's go right into the demo environment. I want to level set on what the demo environment is here. What I have is a Windows machine, and this is what I'm going to be logging into on the right here. This is that Windows machine right here. This Windows machine, I'm VPNing into a bunch of different systems, but what you need to know is I'm logged in. This is where we're doing the demo at, Windows 10, and we're going to have a Linux machine here, and this Linux machine is our mid server that connects our Windows 10 and our NIOS machine that are on here, including our NIOS Discovery, to our ServiceNow instance, which is up in the cloud, and we're going to see that demo environment in just a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to log into this Windows 10 machine, which I am right now on the right. I'm going to create some assets and some networks and other things so you can see them added to the ServiceNow side. I'm going to delete them as well so you can see it's a two-way integration. You can add them and delete them on Infoblox. They'll be added, deleted to ServiceNow. And then I'm going to flip over to ServiceNow completely and start pushing data from ServiceNow down to Infoblox so you can see both sides of the integration and kind of get an idea of what what you can expect from this type of integration. To set up this first part, which is we're pushing Infoblox data, all this red data. This is the NIOS machine, by the way. This is just the UI when you log in, this is what you see. To set up this integration, you have to have the ecosystem license, and once you have this hooked up, all you're really going to do is add some templates, notifications, and connect your NIOS machine up with ServiceNow and say what information you want to drag over there. You'll have to add things like a username and password, and this is not the ideal username and password. You want some sort of API user, because this integration completely uses the API, and it transfers everything through the API calls. So that's what you're going to be looking for. Once you have this set up, you're going to be able to do everything that I'm doing now, right now for you live. And do realize this is live, so anything that can go wrong usually does go wrong. So please forgive me if something messes up here. I will go back and fix it, and we'll just go with the blows here. Hopefully nothing does, but just a fair warning. So first, we're going to add a network. We're going to add an IPv4, and this is something that admin on the Infoblox side have to do all the time. They have to add or remove these networks. I'm just going to set up a simple one. And this is just going to be a simple network. And what we're going to see is once I add this, I'm not going to add it yet. I'm going to go to the ServiceNow side. And what we're going to see is under the networks, is right now, it's empty, right? So we have nothing in ServiceNow for networks. And so I'm going to add this network now.
All right, so quick introduction. This is talking about Infoblox ecosystem and the integrations that it have. It has some with ServiceNow and some few others that we're going to go into. So in this scenario here, we're going to show you two users, Bob and Alice. And here's Bob, an unprotected user. We're going to kind of sum up all the cool things that Kevin and Adam covered. But here's Bob's, here's his local file and everything else. But Bob is a typical user. We all have him. He heard about a great site where he can go get a deal, and he pulls it up, goes there, he's like, oh, click to download this software, runs an executable, go ahead and run anyway, which is a typical Bob user, and as you can see, something happened. Now when he opens his file, it's actually letting you know, well, the output here is an example, but it's showing you here that all his files now are encrypted. So as you can see, Bob has some issues. Now we're going to go over to Alice, who is actually protected by Infoblox threat defense. So now we're going to see Alice. Bob, of course, is a nice guy, shared the information with Alice. So Alice pulls up the website. And why is this syncing? There it goes. Sorry. And now she goes ahead and click on that, and there you go. It's blocked. This is the enhancement that happens when you're using Infoblox threat defense. But the cool part of the architecture and why we're talking ecosystem and ServiceNow is the way it works is user goes to a bad site, Infoblox blocks it. We will then send it to ServiceNow, SIM, Splunk, Fortinet, Tenable, Rapid7. We have a bunch of integrations, plus you can roll your own. As you can see here, it's basically an outbound API. That's exactly what you're looking at here, of call from Infoblox to other appliances. And the nice thing about the integration is it's just a simple license, a simple enablement like Kevin was showing you guys as well. So here it is in ServiceNow. You go ahead, now we're going to look for the ticket, watch events, and there it is. The user actually showing you all the user information, showing you the fact that we send over some information to Fortinet with links, the URL. Also, if you notice, it also has some stuff to Tenable, Rapid7, Splunk. So all of that data that we're getting in, whether it be from NetMRI or everything else, we're sharing that with ServiceNow from an event-driven. Here's the event on Fortinet, as you can see down there. We actually blocked the user from actually accessing the website. Now we're going to take a look at Tenable, and from here, it's going to go through the entire scan and show you that the fact that it's in the process of scanning the device. So it's a nice way to do this. All these started processing when Alice went to the website. Same thing with second scanner, Rapid7, because almost every company I've ever worked with actually had dual scanners anyway. So the cool part about it is, here you go, it's showing you that integration, that it's actually scanning there. Now let's take a look at some of the IPAM data that we've been talking about, extensible attributes. So right here, we're going to go find the network, click on the IP address, and then we're going to scroll down a little bit and look at some of the discovered data. So it's going to show you all that information that we've discovered on it. Right here at the bottom, you can see it's telling you it's a Microsoft server. We believe it's a Microsoft server. If we had the discovery information, like which port and stuff it's connected to, that would also be passed over as well in the ticketing system. So here in Splunk, you can come in, look at all the logs generated, and then you can see from here the same information that we sent over to ServiceNow is also in your Splunk engine, so you can get that data. So as you can see, IP address, host name, what URL they went to, timestamp, and all this good stuff. So all of that's available, so you can actually have all this information at your fingertips. It literally, I mean, this used to take me probably about an hour and a half just to research one event. Within seconds, you have this information. So these are So now you're going through, you can use the SIM and our history. So we actually have a dashboard that you can actually go through and give all the information regarding it. And it'll show you what type of exploit it is, why we blocked it, and also related information towards the threat. So you see which feed it belongs to. It's a whitelist, blacklist, however we discovered the information. Now you can leverage that data and actually pivot in our dossier engine by searching a different field. Now it's going to return additional information around it. When we first saw it, what IP address is it on, and all that data points from there as well. So now you're getting a history of time at your fingertips, as well as all the client information here as well. So you have that. So this is how we're enriching our ecosystem license with ServiceNow, with all the other products, kind of making it more cohesive and easier for customers to troubleshoot from there.
Perfect. And I guess at this time, we'll just open it up to Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to direct those to the Q&A box. So one question that came in, can we do integrations using the Cloud Infoblox solution?
Yeah, I can answer that. Yeah, absolutely do it with the Block One threat defense today. Now, if you remember, I was showing you those workflows. If you're really good with ServiceNow, or you have some sort of professional services or some sort of person who is used to those workflows, you can create your own workflows and templates and activity packs to send API calls to the Block One DDI solution as well. So there's two of them, right? There's threat defense and DDI. Threat defense, yeah, threat defense to ServiceNow works perfectly fine. The other way, DDI, not today for the cloud solution. However, again, what I'm saying is if you have ServiceNow professionals who are good at it or you're used to those workflows, you can create those activities to send data to the DDI activity, or Block One DDI up in the cloud.
Perfect. Thank you. And it looks like that was the only question we had for today, so I will go ahead and close this out here. So I would just like to say a thank you to all of our participants for being with us today. I would also like to thank our presenters. For those of you who did meet the CPE requirements today, you'll receive your certificate of completion within 2 weeks. So thank you again and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Margot. Thank you, everybody.